Hey guys, for today's vlog I'm talking about the Sidekick event that we did this weekend. Now this was essentially the first time my dad has gone to my locals, and obviously we teamed up, and I think he had a really good time. I think he really enjoyed himself, which is brilliant. We had a lot of sort of debate the day before on what team we were going to play. We had all kinds of ideas. And in the end, we narrowed it down to Marauders or Assassins. Either was going to have John Greycrow on it seemed, because that's one of his favourite figures, so, it made sense that we were both trying to build around it seemed. We couldn't decide between the two, so we went to Instagram to settle it. And I think it only got 2 comments on it, but both of them were basically saying Marauders, because of the whole Riptide thing, obviously. Our main Marauders team would have used 3 Riptide, but we only had 2, so that was a bit of a shame. But in the end, in the morning, he turned around and said, I think we should do Assassins. And you know what, he was right. So basically our Assassin team was, the 100-point team was John Greycrow and Hitmonkey. Could not say a bad word about them. Hitmonkey is an unbelievable figure. He just puts the work in for 40 points. He doesn't look like much. He looks like he's going to sort of flummox around and then not really do anything, but the sidestep and running shot gives him so much mobility. The precision strike, it's so underrated as a power, because I always forget about the fact that it, you can't reduce damage from that character below 1. And that's the bit I always forget about with precision strike, because, obviously I know about it, but I don't give it enough credit for what that does. And that meant Hitmonkey could just ping away at things all day, and eventually they died and stuff, and he was the main contributor to that, to starting off getting people down the dials and stuff. Apart from the main figure on the 200-point team, which was Dreadpool. Now our team restrictions were 300 points, modern age, nothing above a rare. I wasn't the only one who took a prime, but I kind of feel like prime's going to be outlawed next month. And there's rumblings that we're not going to do rares either, which I think is a step too far. But to be fair, Stiltmans are common, so regardless of what we do, I can still have fun with this. So yeah. But anyhow, Dreadpool, across the day, we worked out, did at least 33 damage. He was paired up with Electra, the shifting focus one, who across the day did a sum total of 0 damage. Must have been the worst performance I've ever seen an Electra put in. Electra's is standardly really good figures, and she definitely is one, but on that day, she was, she was a bit of a speed bump to keep people away from Dreadpool, mostly, but she could have hit even one attack in the meantime. I mean, there's one where she can attack everyone next to her, then that gets knocked down to Flurry. She's got multiple options to attack. 0 damage. Not a hit all day. And that was quite amazing. She was the only figure who died in every game, with Dreadpool being the only figure who didn't die. In game 1, Henry and Electra died. In game 2, Electra and Hitmonkey died. And in game 3, John Greycrow and Electra died. Now you might have noticed we had Hitmonkey and Henry, as I've just mentioned, on our team. Bit of a monkey theme in the assassin keyword. Henry obviously doesn't have the keyword, but new bystander rules, and him now being a bystander means that he doesn't count against your keywords. And we had 20 points left over, but we figured Electra already had exploit weakness, and Dreadpool already had steel energy traded, so there wasn't much point in chucking a load of blood axes on the team, because obviously Hitmonkey and Greycrow are ranged attackers. Although to be fair, it could have helped Greycrow a bit, but it wouldn't have been worth doing. And ultimately, the Henry is so good. He's 15 points, so it kind of puts you off now, because I can get a Colossal Retaliation or whatever as well, but he's just so maneuverable and it's so malleable, and he's just amazing, and he was so helpful. That 33 damage Dreadpool did, he must have done at least 8 of it with Empower and Enhancement, I'm telling you now. And Hitmonkey must have done about 8 damage himself as well. It was really good. The teams we played against were Hydro Man, Element Man, Frogman, and Batman. And then Avengers team with the Shifting Focus, Doctor Strange, Hawkeye, the new Hulk with the rage tokens, that sort of theme. And then the last team was literally the Thor starter set without the Hercules, I think. I think that was the only thing I was missing from it. You know, we had some stiff matches. The first one was our most comfortable win, even though we didn't win it outright. The second one was, you know, we were doubting ourselves, and if John Greycrow had taken one more click of damage, we'd have lost. So that was quite tight. And then the last game was like really stiff. It was like we took out 100 points, but then they took out 50. No, we took out 50 points on the Hulk's lower dial, and then we took out another 50, and then they took out one of ours, and then they took out Greycrow and it went ahead, and then we smashed the rest of the team. Like, that was the game we won outright, but, you know, it was the most to and fro that had happened all day. But yeah, it was really good. In terms of prizing, we did a system where the Sidekick picks first, but only picks for himself. So, Dad took a White Lantern Batman, and then by the time it got round to me, I got the Vampire Wolverine, which was pretty cool. So they're really cool figures. That definitely wouldn't have been in this house otherwise. But fundamentally, that brings me to a point of, you know, if you bring in new players into these Sidekick events, which is obviously the aim, what's the point in giving them out of rotation figures that can't really do anything? I mean, the White Lantern Batman and Vampire Wolverine, don't get me wrong, fantastic figures. And like I say, they wouldn't have been in this house without Sidekick events. So, quite frankly, you know, we do owe them for that. And, you know, I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm kind of complaining, but I'm not really complaining. I mean, obviously, the Sidekick events only came about because they were trying to get rid of a load of crap out of factories that had never sold. So that's why all this stuff has come from. Even though they could have just given it to stores to do for general events. But anyhow, my point is, these are old figures, and the Vampire Wolverine is a 180 point figure with no willpower, and the White Lantern Batman just doesn't really do much anymore for 130 odd points, who also doesn't have willpower. The Batman's probably more playable just because it's easier to get on a team, but either way, I mean, and it's obviously unbelievable shelf piece. So don't get me wrong about that. Don't think I'm complaining, because they're both beautiful figures. Just the dials just aren't really up to it anymore. In my opinion, anyway. You may disagree. I doubt it, but you may disagree. They are quite overcosted now. But yeah, they are some beautiful figures. We also got Doctor Strange ID cards, which means I now need to buy the Shifting Focus Doctor Strange, the good one anyway, the Psychic Glass one. That's, you know, that's a new thing, a new option. 50 point calling. It's not bad. I think that's basically all I had to say on the matter, though. Basically, the takeaway is Dreadpool is fucking crazy. Henry is fucking brilliant. Hitmonkey's fucking crazy. And the Shifting Focus Electra's just let me down every time I've played it so far. I'm conscious of the fact that this has gotten to 8 minutes and a half without me actually really saying anything. So, I'm going to let you guys go now. You may have noticed, which you definitely have, the new screen in the background. This is something I'm trying out. Been very conscious ever since I started doing these vlogs that, you know, you can see all the bed and everything in the background. There legitimately isn't a better place in my room for me to do this. I'm hoping that eventually I'll be able to do it in some way that has the camera sort of looking over from the bed. Because basically behind the camera we have like my desk, a couple of posters, a load of click boxes and stuff, so and like my studio and everything, so I feel like that'll be a nice thing to look at. But aside from me having to stand up through the video and the fact that there currently isn't any way to mount it on here, I'm confident I'll get some kind of clasp or something that can clip onto this, but we'll find out in the future. But for now, I'm trying this out. I think it looks okay. I mean, I'm noticing there's still a big chunk here, but there's not really much I can do about that except for just sitting in one place the whole vid. Well, anyhow, thank you for watching. Goodbye. Why not?